everybody, welcome back to my channel. For today's video I'm going to be showing you how to get this photo ready makeup look. I'm going to walk you through the steps, so please keep watching. So first we're going to start by prepping the skin. I like to use the Bobbi Brown Enriched Face Base, but you can use any moisturiser or primer of your choice. If you're going to use your hands to put your makeup on or any skincare, make sure you sanitize them beforehand. The reason I take my time when I do my base for this kind of makeup look is because the camera doesn't lie. Basically it will pick up any sort of imperfection or anything on your face, so ensuring that your base is smooth and well hydrated really will make sure that the makeup sticks to your face nicely. Another technique that I like to do is I take my Bobbi Brown face base, I take a makeup mixing palette, and I also grab some of my e.l.f. bronzing drops. Any bronzing drops will do. This is just to make it a bit more natural, so if you don't want a super glowy look but you just want to add it within your skincare, this is a great way to do it. So for application for this, I'm actually going to take a brush. All the brushes that I'm going to use are either going to be Zoeva or Morphe, otherwise I'll state if they're different. I'm just going to get the product all over my face and take my time blending it out. So next I'm going to move on to my base makeup. I think the trick for any photography makeup is making sure that you've got the right shade, because the camera, like I said before, will pick up any sort of imperfection that you do have. It highlights them. So what I like to do is use my skin tint Maybelline. Some may say I might have an obsession with this at this point, but I just find it really easy to use and it's like the correct shade for me. So if you can just find a foundation or a base that is the right shade for you, you will be good to go. When taking pictures, the camera is going to pick up any shadows. That's like a number one point that I want to reiterate. So for this type of makeup look, I will colour correct, and because I suffer with dark circles, I colour correct underneath my eyes using an orange shade which cancels out the purple tones, and then I go over this with my concealer. The trick is to use a concealer that is a couple of shades lighter than your foundation and not any lighter really, because it can look a little bit crazy when the flash photography picks this up. You just want to blend it out nicely and make sure there are no harsh lines. This really helps in achieving that fresh look that you get in photos. So I like to focus with precision on my T-zone, so my forehead and down towards the bottom of my nose. This is where the camera will pick up light. Like I said, it focuses on shadows, and if you can make that a little bit bright, that's a great area to make bright as it catches the light. So I recently got these Morphe brushes. Prior to them closing all their UK stores, may I add, if anyone wants to enlighten me on what's going on there, I always say investing in some good tools is what's going to help you with your makeup application. So for example, good beauty sponges and good makeup brushes. In between layers, I like to just spray this Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. It isn't really like a setting powder, it's more like that it breaks apart any sort of harsh lines. And then what I'm going to do is use a translucent powder. For those with dry skin, you can skip the powder on areas that don't get shiny just to keep that dewy glow. But for everybody else, make sure that you are using a translucent powder that isn't super bright, because what the camera is going to do is it's going to pick up the light, and your makeup may look normal in the mirror or in daylight, but it will look harsh on camera because of the way that it does pick up the light. So just make sure that you're tapping off any excess, only using a small amount. Now for photo ready makeup, you're going to want to add some dimension to your face. Typically you would use a cool tone contour powder, but the Peaches and Cream medium bronzing powder honestly is just as good as a cool tone. It doesn't have any harsh lines. This creates shadows and gives your face a more sculpted appearance, because that's what the camera is going to pick up essentially. Like I said before, it picks up light and shadow. This might not be for everyone, but what I like to do is run some of this contour shade over my lips. It just gives the illusion of bigger lips. I know people like to add a little bit of highlight to their top lip, but for me, just adding that little bit all around really works. So I'm just going to do my brows on camera. I'm going to use this old eyebrow pencil that I've got from Primark. It's nothing special, and what I'm going to do is go over it, really define my eyebrows using the old school Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pomade, and I added a little bit of oil into this just to bring it back to life because it is a little bit old, I'm not going to lie to you. And then I'm just going to run this through my brows. So for the next step, we're going to add some colour back into my face. This could be my favourite part of photography makeup, is getting blusher on that face of mine. I just think it's like the number one thing that I notice when I'm taking photos. So the more the better in this case. And I'm just going to add a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand. And I'm only going to use a little bit of this, focusing it on the end of my nose, on the tops of my cheekbones, and in the inner corner of my eye. I'm not gonna lie, it looks like it's giving nothing. You just want it just so that the light catches in certain areas, and these are the areas that the light's gonna catch. So the top of your cheekbones, your nose, and your inner corner of your eyes. So we are gonna move on to the actual eyes, and this is also a great step to really standing out in photographs. I'm going to mix these two colours from the Vive Muse palette, working this on the outer corner of my eye, dragging it all the way into my inner corner, blending it out and really blocking that shade off as like one shade. And then with any leftover product, what I'm going to do is just drag it out towards my temples. Essentially what I'm doing is using a slightly darker shade in the crease just to create that depth that I'm looking for. Once that I feel like I've got enough colour payoff, I'll then take the same shades and pop them underneath my eye using a finer brush, and then I will line my eyes using a black liquid eyeliner. This liquid eyeliner is just from Primark, and I'm just going to wing it out at the end. So essentially what I'm doing is just getting the colour on at first and then dragging out the ends and making them more defined. If you struggle to use a liquid eyeliner, just using a kohl pencil will do the job as well. Some people just use their eyebrow pencil. If it's a nice shade, you can just drag it across the top of your lid, and that should have the same sort of effect, even though it won't last as long maybe, but it still looks really good. I'm then going to use two different mascaras. I'm going to use the Maybelline Lash Sensational for my top lashes just to curve them round before I put some eyelashes on. And then I'm going to use Maybelline Sky High Mascara for my bottom lashes. The lashes that I'm going to use are just these Amazon lashes, and as always I like to cut them down to size, making sure when I'm sizing them up that they look alright on my eye. And then I'm going to use the Eldora lash glue, and then I'm going to attach these to my eyes. These are a really full look lash, and for photography I think a full look lash looks great. If you're not a fan of a really big lash, the Ardell Wispies are a great choice as well. What I'll then do is add some bottom lash mascara. I really like to take my time in separating these lashes out to give it that doll-like effect, and I find that this really works with the Sky High Maybelline Sensational Mascara. For lips, I'm going to take my trusty MAC Chicory lip pencil. I bet everybody's sick at the sight of this thing, but I just find that it really does suit my lips. So if there's anything that I could say to you, is find a lip pencil that you think suits your skin tone. And what I'll do is also I'll add a little bit of Morphe Sweet Tea liner on some of the corners just to give it that more defined look. I'll then use the Charlotte Tilbury lipstick in the shade Pillow Talk, and I will go in the middle parts of my lips for an extra bit of dimension with my Morphe Commit lipstick. This is just a bit of a lighter Blair shade. And then optional, you can add some lip gloss. I love to add the Maybelline Lifter Gloss. This really just sets the look apart, really pops them lips out for photography. So what I'm going to do next is set all the makeup in place using the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. An oldie but a goodie, really does lock in your makeup. I'm not the biggest fan of how it sprays out, so basically what I do is I spray it and just put my face in it. That's why I look like a crazy woman. So that brings me to the end of this makeup look. I've showed you all the tips that I think will help you when using flash photography, and hopefully you've picked up some tips or tricks during this makeup look. As always, thank you so much for watching, and if you can, take the time to subscribe and also like this video, and hopefully I'll see you all soon.